Joining me now is Democratic strategist Shane Harris, who was a surrogate for the Clinton campaign in 2016. Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it. All right, so is this real, or is this just a sort of conservative media dream that Hillary Clinton runs again?
Well, thank you again for having me on the show. You know, it is very clear that Hillary Clinton, especially with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, has a very large-scale chance of being called back to the platform.
Really?
In 2016, she won the popular vote by over 2 million votes. She continues to be a top surrogate in the Democratic Party for lower-level candidates all the way up the ballot. And she continues to be a force in Democratic politics. So it's very clear that the right's push for a Hillary Clinton, which that's pretty interesting that they would be pushing for Hillary Clinton.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. Why do you think that the right, I mean, if she's such a great candidate for Democrats, why is it only conservatives typically who are pushing for her to run?
Well, that's why I say it's very interesting that they would be. However, I think what they fail to understand is that while they are hoping that she runs, and in particular, at the same time saying Joe Biden is falling apart, that there is a real clear opportunity now with the overturning of Roe v. Wade where a candidate like Hillary Clinton could become their worst nightmare. And I think they're calling on someone who could become their worst nightmare if they indeed ask for it. I mean, look at the president of the United States. While he's done so many progressive and important reforms across our country and has gotten straight to work after the COVID pandemic, it is very clear that the president of the United States, his health and just his well-being going into the 2024 election may be at question by Democrats and Republicans.
He's also wildly unpopular, right? I mean, that's another problem he's got.
Well, on one hand, you can say that. On the other hand, you can also say that he has really been the rescue for the country after such a horrendous presidency by President Trump. So I think that we have a clear vision and a real clear path. If the president of the United States decides that he's not running, or if there so much as ends up in a situation where they need a B candidate or a C candidate, Hillary Clinton could be very prepared to take up the Democratic mantle into the 2024.
But why should Biden get to decide? I mean, that's the thing. We've been talking about this throughout the hour, right? Biden is wildly unpopular. Trump's wildly unpopular. And it's almost like Republicans defer to Trump to decide. Democrats defer to Biden to decide. Why don't Democrats say, if Biden is a bad choice for us, I don't mean in terms of policy, you may like everything he's done. In terms of winning, why wouldn't they say, we got to find somebody else?
You know, I agree with you, Dan. As a matter of fact, I think that we need more young people and more new people in both parties coming forth and bringing a new vision to America. Both of these guys are far too old to be leading America's presidency. However, I will say that, you know, President Biden, whether you agree with his policies or not, he is a more realistic candidate in regard to his character, in regard to how he communicates with Americans, how he works with both parties. And really, he's not out of, he's not, overly ambitious or someone who really goes after people and attacks people and lies and all of that kind of stuff. So I mean, his character is much stronger.
I'm not trying to sort of do a campaign here between Biden and Trump. I'm trying to do just the opposite, right? Which is to say, why can't Democrats get rid of him? Why can't Republicans get rid of him? Shane Harris, thanks very much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.